Okay, what do you see? Okay, you should have spotted it by now. You see all the copper dust and you see the broken little part. So that was my frustration of looking for the leak. And at that time when I was leak checking it, there was still refrigerant coming out of the charge of the bulb, and that's why at the day I turned this down when this unit failed, because we caught it when it failed. There was still off-gassing of the refrigerant and it was going on. Now, what I believe to be oil, and it feels oily, but and it's not drying out, still got to come back to that. But maybe because our humidity is so high, I mean, basically a week later it still didn't dry out and we were just drying out with air. I'm gonna hit this with a heat gun and see if it goes away, because we're an unusually high humidity in this area where even your footprint on water on cardboard might be there 2 or 3 days later. So what we have here, and I broke out the H10 too, is we have a vibration death. So it looks like, if you look right here, this was coiled on top of that. So if you look, let me flip it over. You see that notch? Let me get it over there. There's actually a notch on the other one above it, right there. So let's see if I can get it to zoom in. There we go. You see that notch right there? So that was sitting on top of that and it was rubbing. So they had this set up like that. And if you look at the way that that failed, it has a notch groove in it. And then I just looked up just now and I seen the other half of the notch. So basically they have these set up to self-destruct, just by the way they have them set up. And there you go. You could see that U groove, and then you can see that U groove right there. And so the bulb's not working. So, you know, the most time-consuming man labor power thing is that you see all that glue, you see all that tape there? That was tape that we had to put all around this unit over all the bolt holes. You see how we have sealant and caulk here, and even the bolt hole for the hole here. Every bolt hole had to either be sealed up by tape or caulking, because these are placed outside and it's so cold it was literally turning into liquid water on the whole side of the panel, leaking down and coming out of the panels and flooding the roof with water, and then pouring through the roof with water. And even the inside of the electrical panel, one of my videos, I showed all the electronics in here and circuit board and everything was just literally coaxed with water, because these are not meant to be operated in cold climates on the exterior. Because once the sheet metal cools and you're in 30 some degrees, 40 some degrees, basically all that high humidity just flashes to pure water. But this is a mechanical defect on design, because they did not set the coil up in a way where it would not touch anything and vibrate anything. So they need to put some plastic tie things here. You can't use things like hot glue, because this is hot and it would break. So you would have to use some other Celastic or something like that to tighten and tie all this stuff together and keep it from vibrating, because of the vibration of the motor shakes and all this vibrates. And so I will have to discharge the system. At the same time, I will weigh the amount of refrigerant that comes out, confirm that it matches the label charge, and if it's low, I really want to look at what looks like that leak over there. I have to really determine whether or not I have a leak over there before I just do this and then find out I have a leak over there. But going for a bulb change out here, and what's that look bubbly over there? That must just be glue. Yeah, that's glue. It looks like an oil bubble right there. I was gonna say, did I just find another leak? Doesn't that look like a leak? But that's just their glue. That's all that is. That's not it. And yeah, so do a bulb, the expansion valve, weigh charge, confirm it's leaking, not leaking, and yeah, the labor is kind of high here. I mean, we're in San Francisco, and I guess it would be like New York and Chicago and stuff like that. And when you're approaching $200 and $300 plus an hour or something like that, the cost of doing this kind of like starts matching the cost of the unit at wholesale price, not retail price, but what the wholesalers get these for. Basically the repair would basically match that. All right guys, see you later. And that was our fault right there.